Welcome back, my friends. Welcome back. Scotty the Trucker coming to you from Petro, a little north of Madison, Wisconsin, a little west of Green Bay. I've got my delivery tomorrow. I think it's around 5 o'clock. This was a little out of route for me. I was coming up from Utah on I-80 forever, and then a northeasterly direction. But I looked on Trucker Path, and I knew that this last day I would be stopped for quite a while. So I wanted to go to a somewhat nice place, best I can guess. But there's really not a whole lot. I looked on Trucker Path. There's not a whole lot in the Green Bay area in any direction. There's a few little tiny truck stops, not just off-brand, but small. I looked at the little, the whatever Google Earth things, There was one, looked like it was all right, but the comments on it, I do peruse the comments. Now, you got to take the comments with a grain of salt. This is another trucker lesson from your resident noob. Yeah, you can't really go completely by the comments, because I have found that truckers are given to complain a little bit. A lot of them seem to like to complain more than to make the best of it. So if you get one that's all complaints, watch out. But if it's a mixed bag, it's probably at least average. But this one had stellar reviews, and there was a TA up the road that would have been a little bit less off route, but it was just, everybody was complaining about the giant potholes and the unfriendly staff and the dirty this and the dirty that. When 15 more miles up the road, this Petro got glowing reviews. So that's where I am. And so far, yeah, I like it. It's a pretty good place. It feels kind of retro, but in a good way, not like run down, but just I don't know. It just has a kind of a cool vibe. I like it. All right, what else do I need to talk about today? I know well, first and foremost, happy birthday yesterday to my daughter Savannah. We had a family party 2 days ago, and I attended via video phone for a little bit, which is a little awkward, but I'm glad I can participate in some way. But yeah, they were over at my parents' house, and I think they had spaghetti, they had ice cream and cake, and I was not here, but in the truck I had Subway, and the last place I was at had a table with Girl Scout cookies, so I kind of stocked up on Girl Scout cookies. Are any left? No, because Girl Scout cookies are kind of like Pringles. You just can't stop once you open one. But for the first time in my life, I didn't have to share, so that was good. All right, let's see. One other thing before I get to the main reason for this video. To me, I have been reluctant. And those that do, again, I am not a bashing channel. Those that do this, I have no problem with it. It's just, for me, it feels a little awkward. And that is to, in my first year, to do a lot of tutorial type stuff. Let me teach you how to truck this and truck that, when I'm pretty darn new. I've always felt a little reluctant to get into the tutorial game, except when I have figured something out, or something has happened, and I can truly say without any shadow of a doubt that I've learned something new and I can be helpful and pass it on. Well, one of these things just came up. You may recall, if you've been following me for a while, that there was a video I did during my upgrade to my, from training to my truck. Excuse me. And I bought, let's go, the iron skillet. I did have got iron skillet today. But yeah, there was a video, and I think on the thumbnail it has all the crap that I bought for the truck. Initial, all kinds of stuff, tools and this and that and this and that. And I will say that, there's certainly some things you need when you set out. But I bought a lot of crap not knowing, but there's a lot of crap that I bought that was on that bed that I've never used. So a little bit of a word to the wise. maybe don't go full bore on, you know, filling up your tool compartment with every bit of crap that they have at the company store. A lot of that you can wait until as needed, but some of it, you know, certainly, you know, a mallet, you know, a wrench, a screwdriver, you know, those certainly. But what I'm talking about now is that I bought something that for me is a game changer. Maybe everybody else is not having this issue, but I fixed the issue with one purchase that I think is worth its weight in gold. And the issue first is that, you know, certainly during winter weather and a little bit, you know, throughout, you will occasionally start the truck up and you're, now I'm not going to do it. Let me flip. And this goes off. Dust. Might be working on that tomorrow. But that is your tire warnings, you know. Unlike the trailer that has a system that actually pumps air into the tire that has a problem, this is just an alert. It can tell you what your PSI is on each of on your steer and drives. And especially in the winter, and again, maybe this is just me, but it's almost every time you start the car and start the truck. But much like your car at home, you know, in the wintertime when it's real cold, your PSI will drop. And then it just seems like it never quite, and it'll warm up. Once the tires are warm up, the PSI will rise. But it never quite gets up, and you're kind of playing that game where it's dropping very slowly. And you need to take care of it. So what do? We go through, you know, the fuel aisle, and it's hit or miss. You know, sometimes they don't have the air hoses. Sometimes they have them and they're broken. I've had them so that they work, but they're not long enough to go around the other side of the truck. You know, it's just a pain. And not only that, even if it's working perfectly, a lot of times you know, at least I'm cognizant of how long I'm taking. You know, in the wintertime, gosh, you know, you're putting in anti-gel, fuel in the truck, washing the windows. You're going to add, you know, putting air into the tires, and you got, you know, an impatient trucker behind you. You know, I'm at least mindful of that, and I don't necessarily want to add another long task, you know, to that part of the fueling process. So what I did, and I took a couple pictures of it before I unwrapped it, and I'll show them somewhere, probably here, front and back. I bought an air hose that, for me, it's game changing. I used it the other day, I don't know, maybe 3 days ago, something like that, and I have not seen that red light or heard that chirping when I turn it on. I got what it is. It's a 50-foot hose. They have them. I've seen them before that I even picked them up. They're at most truck stops. A 50-foot air hose. And on each end, on one end, it is the nozzle you need to fill the air, and on the other end, it's cool. It's the partner to your red Glad hand. So what you end up doing, and sometime next time I do it, maybe I'll do a tutorial. But for this, I'm just telling you, you know, the coolness of the item. But basically, you will release the air from your red knob, undo your red line, hook this to your red line, and then start the truck and feed the air by pushing in your red nozzle again. And that you now have a compressed air hose, you know. And I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, you know, at my leisure, you know, sitting at a truck stop, I filled every single one of my tires up to just shy of 110 PSI. And 3 days later, I have not heard that awful alert. And haven't experienced the anxiety that goes along with it, you know. So take that for what it's worth. Like I said, you know, refrain from buying everything under the sun when you first get your truck. Get a few necessities. I would put this on that list, you know, of all the little annoyances that go along with trucking. That's one of them, and it's an easy fix. And man, I mean, and not only just the annoying aspect, you know, in a pinch, it could be not a lifesaver, but a big time saver. If you're dropping PSI rather quick and you need to just limp it real close to a TA or something like that, you can do that real quick, and it's you know, a little emergency item rather than, you know, having, you know, wait on road assist and all that. So I could see this being even more valuable, you know, in a less than emergent tire situation, one that you could actually fill it up and move on to the nearest TA or wherever tire place. So that's that. Yeah, I highly recommend it, and I've only just started working, but I can see that's going to make life easier for me. All right, on to the last thing. The main part of this this episode was lost footage. It's the I don't know, I didn't see how long it is. It's a short video, but it's the first few minutes of my entire journey, and I never used them, but I kept them on my phone just because I thought maybe a year from now, on the anniversary, I'll use it. But what you're about to see is video of me the moment I left for Springfield a year ago, day before yesterday. Yeah, I left on my daughter's birthday. No, yesterday, so the 19th. The party was 2 days ago. So I left for Springfield February 19th, 2022. And I arrived at Springfield on the 20th, I think, yeah. And then I started classes on the 21st. So what you're going to see is the moments. I remember I got up super early. The car was already packed. I drove. Woke up the kids just to say goodbye. It was like 4 a.m. Real tired, and told the wife and kids goodbye, and went out to the car. And back then I was gung-ho on the YouTube. It wasn't taking a lot of time off like I do now. I didn't get so lazy. So my intention was, and I said it in this video, you'll see, I had lofty goals of showing the entire trip. I was going to do little snippets along the way, but that didn't end up happening. I was excited and I just drove. I didn't do a lot of stopping, so there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity for little videos either. So that's why I didn't use it. I made a bunch of promises that I didn't keep, so I didn't use that in there. But for your enjoyment, it's not the greatest video, but it is the first few moments of my trucking journey. It's the getting in the car and leaving home for the first time. So enjoy that for what it's worth. I hope you do enjoy it. I remember that being really a mix of excitement and fear, frankly. The whole thing was unknown. All I knew was what I'd gotten from YouTube, and for the next year, not so much now, but for a good half a year, that's the emotion you feel. It's scary and exciting, and that's a weird mix to have going on at the same time, but it truly is what it is. But I guess that's what adventure is, and that's what I kind of see the benefit of this job, is that it's an adventure. It's not everybody does this. This is a different kind of life. And so anyway, I'll stop talking and let you enjoy that, and I'll go ahead and say my close. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Good morning, YouTube. Hope everybody's doing okay. I am sitting in my driveway waiting for the car to warm up. About to head out. I'm heading for Springfield. It's February 19th. Incidentally, it's my younger daughter's birthday. I just woke them up for a brief goodbye, and I wished her happy birthday. Happy birthday, Savannah, if you see this. Yeah, I got, I think, something a little shy of 17 hours to drive. I'm going to try to do most of that today, as much as I can manage. And then, have a little bit of driving tomorrow before I check in at the campus inn. And I was thinking I might check in every so often and do a little video. I'll probably mash them together rather than a bunch of separate videos. And just kind of, I had a few topics I thought I might talk about as I go. I'll probably have the camera flipped, and you'll see out ahead of me, and I'll just talk over that. I'm not a big fan of the whole idea of driving and having the camera on me. I certainly don't plan to ever do that when I'm driving a truck, but I'm not really that crazy about it, even driving the car, so it doesn't sound like a good habit to me, so I'm going to try to avoid that. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm heading out from West Point, Virginia. It's about 4:13 in the morning, and I'll check in with you in a little bit. All right, see you later.